some more happy news. I asked you beforehand and said, did you watch any of SummerSlam 2024? And you went, yes, you watched all of it. So I was really pleased with that. Give us
I did
review.
Watch all of it. Oh, look, I got a comment the other day from a fan, and they were brimming with, very accusatory and kind of bad intentioned, that said that you and I'm glad he said you're worse than I am sometimes. But when it comes to WWE and AEW, we're just lambasting, and I may have said this last week, we were lambasting AEW at every nook and cranny that we ran into in the kitchen. And everything that WWE did is, it was just great. So, and they wondered, were we being paid by WWE?
If only.
I wish I'd do it a lot more. Mm-hmm. And I told that person, I said, there's a reason for that, because AEW basically is nowhere near the level that WWE is right now. Nowhere near it. But back to SummerSlam. SummerSlam to me, and it was the first full pay-per-view I have watched in about, 20 years, I guess. I mean, I watched bits and parts of it because I've seen so many wrestling matches. I mean, unless it's got a great story, I don't want to see it. But they had all these stories, and they brought it together at SummerSlam. And this may be Triple H's, he runs it, but he doesn't run every storyline, but it's run by him. But they got great storylines, and they advanced it. Every angle on that card was advanced or moved a little bit, and a lot of belts changed hands. So on the other podcast I do on Sportskeeda, I was asked who's going to win this match and what do you think is going to happen. I was 7 out of 7, and the only thing I missed were they asked, "Do you think Roman Reigns would show up?" And I said, well, it would be a great opportunity for him to show up, but I said I think they will save that for TV. But they didn't. That's the only one I missed. And now ask me what match I enjoyed the most.
In fact, I'm looking at this, I bet it's Gunther and Damian Priest you enjoyed the most.
No.
Really? Okay. No. Oh, then it'll be Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley.
Oh, yeah. I love that. I love anything to do with love stories. And I think that little Liv Morgan she's as cute as a doll. Of course, she knows it. Everybody else knows it. And I suggested that Dom, first I saw it two ways. I said, they could almost turn Liv Morgan babyface and make Rhea and Dominic heels. They went in there just the opposite. They could have done that if they wanted to. But I thought that Dom would turn on Rhea and really, really, screw her over. So everybody, he's easy to hate anyway. You got that little mustache, and he's got that smile on. And that happened, and they were covered up in heat. The people, they really wanted to see them. And that's what you want. You want the fans really they want to see Dominic and Liv get their asses handed to them on the silver platter. And that's the way you want heel. But that was the match I enjoyed the most. And you wouldn't think that would open the show, but it opened the show, because an old time booker, several of them told me that don't open with your main event, but open with the match that's going to get them off their ass. And that got them up and got them moving. Now, I also read that Rhea Ripley, she ripped her shoulder out in that match.
Did she
Is
really?
that true?
I don't know.
That's what I heard.
Okay.
She was adjusting it several times during the match. I did see that.
Just says Rhea Ripley pops her shoulder back into place during, that's from WWE.com staff as well. So apparently she may have suffered a new injury. I don't know how I missed this one. It says in the first match of SummerSlam 2024, this is from Newsweek, Rhea Ripley dislocated her shoulder when Liv Morgan threw her into the turnbuckle. Immediately, viewers could tell that something was wrong. Ripley continued to yell, it's out, as she ran out of the ring. Do you think it's real, or do you think this is all storyline?
See, that's the beauty about pro wrestling. Is it real or is it not? Now, if she had to put it back in place, which I've heard that could be done, because I'm too much of a wussy if that ever happened to me, I wouldn't even mess with it. I'd just pass out. I'd just be gone. I don't know why.
One of my friends years ago, right, ended up in hospital where, like, his I think he had like a chronic condition where his shoulder would constantly pop out and have to be put in. And for whatever reason, it's really difficult to put it in. So the doctor actually had to kick it back in.
Really?
Yeah, this was years ago. But yeah, actually, the doctor, he was on the...
A doctor that kicked me, I said, wait a minute, did you play soccer at the university, the medical school?
Well, he did this first. He was like, for just measuring it up and then kick in.
Man. But I really enjoyed that match. I really enjoyed getting my accolades later, because how did you get every match? Because even your experts said, oh, no, they won't change all these belts at one time. Well, it's got to be unpredictable. What had happened to WWE before, you could almost just, even a casual fan could look down and say, yeah, this happened. But to change, I think they changed like 4 belts. And it was good.
I'm just reading this. This seems to indicate that, no, it was a planned thing. For full disclosure, I've not seen SummerSlam. I will watch it, but I've just had so much going on. I haven't had time to.
Now, you're going to watch it because of what? Of my telling you about it, my recommendation.
But any free time I've been watching the Olympics. I love the Olympics. I never miss the Olympics, so SummerSlam's had taken a back seat.
Oh, the Olympics pissed me off. They did.
We'll talk about the Olympics a little later on, but let's go through the
No, you won't.
No, we won't.
You're just saying that to appease me.
Yes, I am.
Oh, we'll talk about it later. And then you say, well, we got to wrap it up. We got to go. Let's see you later. Yeah, we the people. And we're gone. Well, I know. Hey, James, I figured you out, buddy.
Okay, at the end, we'll talk about the Olympics, I promise you. We'll go through this now. Bron Breakker, Sami Zayn. It was a bit of an interesting one because Bron Breakker actually lost to Sami Zayn recently. Then they did a rematch, and then only 5 minutes 40.
Now you know why he lost. See, I thought at the time, I said I wouldn't be having Bron Breakker losing these matches before the pay-per-view, but he lost that, and because they were going to switch it over at the pay-per-view, which is good, which is fine.
LA Knight defeated Logan Paul. So
good
I believe Logan
match.
Paul is continuing to impress. LA Knight, one of your favorites. That was it.
He's one of my favorites.
I thought LA Knight was one of your favorites, or he was at the time. Anyway.
Oh, I love him.
Yeah?
No, he's good. But he always could talk. And see, what amazes me about LA Knight is he started so late in life. He got to start. He's 45 now, isn't he?
I don't think he's quite that old. Maybe 42.
I think he's older than that.
Okay.
Look it up.
41.
Oh, yeah, he's not 45. I was going to say he's 40. That's what I meant to say. See how I'm trying to clean up my own mistake here? Mm-hmm. Hey, folks, I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm making up like damn everybody else makes it up, but at least I know some of these guys. But
some of them.
But 40, I mean, getting on the main roster in WWE at 40, which is 40 is not like 40 10 years ago or 15 years ago. 40 now is the new 30, I guess. But and he got on there. They liked him, and but he's always a pretty good talker. See, that's what they had with WWE a long time. They had these big animals, but none of them could talk worth a shit. And unless you can talk, hey, Stone Cold tell you, he said, I wasn't one of the, I wasn't even the top 5 of even the most capable wrestlers in WWE. He said out of a class of 50, as far as wrestling ability, I was probably like 45. And he will admit that, but he could talk, he had a presence, and he connected. So, hey, who was the guy in NXT that never talked? Lester Dumas, what's his name in NXT?
Oh, Dexter Lumis, yeah.
Dexter Lumis. So he came to TNA when I was there and wanted the job, and I wanted to hire him, and nobody else wanted to hire him, but the guy had something. I could tell it just by
It was the mustache, wasn't it?
They were just something there that I felt. Now, see, that's what creative has to do. You have to take what you feel and accent the hell out of it. So you want the people at home to feel the same thing that I felt when I talked to him. I liked him a lot. And if it was up to me, I would have hired him on the spot.
Next match, Nia Jax versus Bayley. So Nia Jax actually had a bit of a career resurgence, really. She's gone from someone who just kept killing people in the ring to someone who's getting quite a lot of respect as an in-ring presence these days. And it seems to happen over the course of a year.
Yeah. And her story with Tiffany is a great story. And what are we waiting on? And all fans know this. You won't, like I've always said, don't tell these stories that, tell it so simply that a 10-year-old kid or 8-year-old kid can understand it. Then you'll and all the people will understand it. So what we're waiting for, probably by next WrestleMania, it will be Tiffany and Nia Jax. Or is it Nia Jax? Nia?
Either way.
Okay, not Nia Jax, which will be a great match. Because I'm in that Nia Jax, I don't know what that woman weighs. And I'm not, you're not supposed to bring up the poundage of a woman, but she really, really can move. And of course, she's got whatever her weight is. I'm sure it's over 250. But hard to control that weight once it gets to moving. And she has hurt several people, I've heard, but not on purpose, of course. And where was she trained at? NXT?
I figure so.
Well, she's Samoan, so she probably was trained since she was about age 3.
Yeah, she's probably born into just sort of knowing certain things.
Maybe even born in a ring.
So she worked as a plus-size model prior to pro wrestling. So she was signed to WWE in early 2014, and yes, she was trained in NXT, the WWE Performance Center.
And where is she from?
She was born in Sydney, New South Wales. But she was raised in Hawaii.
So she was born in
maybe
Australia?
She was born this way.
Australia?
Yeah, but she was raised in Hawaii. And she's a second cousin once removed of Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. We're gonna, before we get through her entire family tree, let's move on to the next one. Drew McIntyre. I've heard a lot of different opinions about this match. Drew McIntyre defeating CM Punk by pinfall with Seth Rollins as the guest referee. What do you make of it all and fighting over the bracelet?
Well, I didn't get the bracelet. Maybe I missed some shows. I don't know what the bracelet means.
It's like I think it's like a commemorative bracelet to commemorate CM Punk's dog Larry and his wife April. So that's it, really.
Oh, I love that. But see, you got to be a fan would know that. A fan that has followed the story, they know that. And that little bracelet now takes on added significance. Me, I'm the dumbass. But after I saw that, I'm thinking, what the hell does the bracelet have to do with anything? So now I start looking it up and I kind of understand it now. But I don't think that match was as good as everybody is making it out to be. It was okay. But see, let's take the match, say it wasn't as good, but the story behind it is better than the match. That's why you got to tell the story. Unless there's a story there, If there wasn't a story when they went to when they went out to the ring, the people would say, "Well, I got to get a Coke, or I'm gonna go up here and I'm gonna smoke a cigarette, or I'm gonna, in my case, smoke a cigar."
You don't smoke, just chew it.
No, I don't. I can't smoke cigars. They knock me out. I go. A lot of people don't know this, but I'm really a wussy at heart. So, but I kind of like this, sitting around like that, and then people don't know. They don't know what to think of it.
Chew like the leaves around it, the wrapping and that kind of thing. And I don't get that.
But you can't chew on the leaves because it'll make you sick too. I don't even know why I even mess with it. I just like the look of a cigar.
Well, I do the same thing, right? I've got a Sharpie here that I don't ever use, but I just like to gnaw on it occasionally. I think it's just one of those. One's got idle hands of the devil's plaything. Maybe that's just something to keep us busy, I suppose. Here's a question, right? Guest referees, to keep it back in wrestling. Guest referees, specifically, what do you think of Seth Rollins' performance? Was he involved too much or not enough? And what is a sort of like rule for booking a guest referee match to keep it entertaining, but not detract too much from the match itself?
Oh, he was entertaining as hell. Because they have showed back. See, he had a camera and a mic. He's mic'd up. And he was doing something to him. I think CM Punk was doing something to Drew, running his head into the steps. But Seth was standing in the ring looking down on him. And he said, "Hey, it's okay with me." "Hey, what you had there, buddy?" And he was letting everything go, which is entertaining to me when they play it back. When they play it back, it is more entertaining than the match. So I liked it. Again, that was one of the stories, or one of the matches I didn't really understand, and it was okay. But maybe if I'd, Seth, I think Seth has found himself in a position now where they're using him to advance a lot of other people. Now, how long has he been there? He's been there 10 years.
More, I'd say. I think 2012, maybe. He debuted on the main roster, yeah?
Yep. So...
What do you think? You think they're putting him out to pasture? We're going to talk about Bronson Reed in a bit, but I mean, he attacked Seth Rollins as well, didn't he? So he seems to be, in that position at the moment.
And he... See, that's what happens when you're really over as a babyface, and all of a sudden they're inundated with a lot of other baby faces that need to be pushed over the incumbent, say like Seth. And Seth would find himself in a position to where he's a stepping stone for that up and coming heels to get by him to move up. And he understands that. He's still making the same amount of money. So, and it's a business. And I think he understands that. So, but they need somebody in the role that he's in now. Somebody who means something, or meant something a lot at one time. Still means quite a bit. And he'll be used for those top heels to beat or to go over. So, which helps the top heel. That's what you want.
Next one, semi-main event, was Gunther defeating Damian Priest by technical submission for the World Heavyweight Championship. I just thought you picked this just because I know how much you like Gunther.
Oh, yeah, it was a good match. Really good match. I forgot how it ended now. All I know is Gunther went over. How did he go over?
I'm just having a look here. Continued to assault Balor. Gunther put him into another chokehold, this time forcing the referee to call the match, awarding Gunther the World Heavyweight Championship. He viciously attacked Balor. Anyway, Judgment Day break up as well in that one, so it's a fairly big deal, and it bled into Raw, which I gather... I'm sorry, I've just not watched anything this week. I've just been so busy with stuff. I gather that they basically split Judgment Day into two now. Anyway, and Rhea Ripley's joined with Damian Priest. Anyway, the main event was Cody Rhodes defeating Solo Sikoa by pin for Bloodline Rules match. Sort of a difficult one in the sense that I don't think anyone went in there thinking Solo Sikoa was going to win.
No. Okay, wrestling fans, again, everybody understood what had to happen during this match. I think that... And it was covered up by the Roman Reigns story anyway. I mean, that was all over it. So if you think, and even I think the 10-year-old kid that, the mysterious 10-year-old kid that I talk about, he has to say, oh, well, Cody has to win because Roman's coming back and nobody can, and Roman has unfinished business with Cody. And he has unfinished business with Solo. So right now, Roman is in the best position he can be because he's an outlier and he's a tweener. He's really a babyface, but he can still go heel if he wanted to be. He's in the best position I think he's ever been in. And I think WWE is... And I've said this before. That's what the guy jumped on me for, said I always side with WWE. And I do, because I think they've done a masterful job of getting all these characters over at the same time. Now they don't have wrestlers, they have personalities. Everybody has their own unique personality, their quirks, and people understand them. It's almost like a neighbor that you may see from a distance, but you know he does certain things on certain days, or he acts this way. You can actually predict him, and that's what WWE has. They have a bunch of characters, personalities that you can, and they're all different. So who are you talking about that they put over with Seth? The guy gave him 6.
Oh, we'll get there soon enough. That was Bronson Reed, but we'll get there soon enough. There's one more thing I wanted to ask you about. A lot of people have been suggesting, I don't know why, that Jacob Fatu, so he does the splash onto Cody Rhodes on the table again. He did it the day before at SmackDown. It went fine. He does it again, SummerSlam. It doesn't go fine. Hits his ankle. We believe hits his leg or his shin or whatever it is, or his ankle on the table. Appears to be injured. He is spotted wearing a walking boot in a convenience store, like after the show or the day after. I think it was after the show. But a lot of people, wrestling news journalists were speculating that it might be a worked injury. And I don't quite know why they'd come to that idea, considering that they're
I'll tell you why.
Well,
because they're marks.
Yeah. But Jacob Fatu is an unstoppable monster. Why would you then have him fake an ankle injury and be carried out by referees?
That makes no sense. Yeah. Unless they're going to do it for him to get beat somewhere down the line, he just goes back to selling. But see, that's a lot of work for one spot. You could do that inside a match. But I think he legitimately got hurt, I think. Because even if you look at the move he did, he comes off the top turnbuckle and down to the table where Cody was. And he got hurt. And he sold it right away. Usually, he grabbed it right away. So either somebody told him it was a work. Somebody said, oh, you got to grab it right away. I don't think they think that far ahead. I think they say, get up and just start limping on it. No, he grabbed it. And then he didn't get up. He couldn't even get up because he ended up sitting down behind what used to be the desk. It was collapsed at this point. He couldn't even stand up. So to me, if you ask me, which you just did, whether it was work or not, I'm going to say no. I don't think it was. But what a great athlete he is. Tremendous. So, and those athletes, those Samoan athletes, if they can't make it in wrestling, you know what they make it in? Football. A lot of Samoan guys in football, and they're really good. And I don't think they're the way they were brought up, that they bitch a lot, they complain a lot. No, they just gonna play the game, and that's what they want them to do. That's where they're raised. So,
a couple more notes on SummerSlam. Stephanie McMahon, Triple H was at the post pay-per-view scrum, your favourite thing, the press conference, says that Triple H said that Stephanie turns up to the shows because she loves it, and then asked that, would she ever come back, and essentially said, hey, when the kids are older, she may come back. There's one other thing I want to mention, is that Zilla Fatu, who is making a name for himself on the indies at the moment, he was spotted in the SummerSlam crowd, just like as a ticket buying fan like everybody else. So Zilla was promoted for a UPW wrestling show in Michigan on Saturday and GCW's New Jersey's show on Sunday. However, he missed both shows.
He was promoted on the show?
Yeah, he was the headliner for the Saturday show, yeah.
They showed him in the crowd.
No, this is just some guy just looked behind him and took a clandestine, I know you like that word, photo of him.
I love that word.
Yeah.
This is an educational experience, really, for a lot of people. It is for me.
I am so glad. There's a word that Mercedes Moné in the next story uses that I'd never heard before, so we'll discover that one together. But anyway, Fightful Select said that Zilla Fatu ended up having travel delays and cancellations that would put him at the show on time, or not put him at the show on time. I don't know how he couldn't make the GCW one on Sunday, though, but I mean, there's been a lot of flights cancelled.
Oh, yeah.
Recent. What's going on there?
I think it's something about the computers.
Oh, still?
Yep.
Maybe it was.
Because they're getting hacked by the Chinese.
Is it the Chinese?
That's what they say.
Well, it used to be the Russians. They've let the game slip.
The Russians are too drunk on vodka to even do it anymore.
No, fair enough then.